Is Newton's second law. Newton's second law, there are many problems based on Newton's second law. First law is a general explanation, you know about that. Every body continues its state of rest or of uniform motion in a straight line until unless it is compelled by an external force. What is the meaning of this first law? Every body continues its state of rest or of uniform motion in a straight line until unless we apply some force to change the state of the body. Means the body at rest should be in motion, means you have to apply some force. The body in motion should be at rest, means you have to apply some force to stop it. Is it? That is called as first law. So what is the meaning of the first law? Until unless we apply certain force on the body, the change of state is impossible. What is the meaning of change of state? The body at rest will be remaining at rest. The body in motion will be remaining in motion until unless we apply some force. If we don't apply any force also, the body in motion will come to rest because of friction. Friction of the ground. Okay? So this is first law. But mainly second law is very important. What is second law explaining here? Second law says that force is directly proportional to rate of change of momentum. Force is directly proportional to rate of change of momentum. Okay, that is the meaning of this first law here. What is the meaning of this actually? Force is directly proportional to m into v minus u by t. That is called as rate of change of momentum. If you want, you can write like this also. mv minus mu by t. Here momentum is the product of mass and velocity. You know about that. Momentum is a product of mass and velocity. That is called as momentum. Why we have to discuss about momentum? A lorry and a car having same speed will collide with each other. Collide with each other. Then who is affected more? Car is affected more. Even though velocity is same, here mass is considered when velocities are same. Understand? So mass is having influence on velocity also. That's why car is affected more. Understand? So momentum is a product of mass and velocity, you know about that. So here, when you remove this proportionality, you are going to get a constant. And if you common out v minus u by t, you all know that k is equal to m into a. That is called as Newton's first law. Understand? First law explains about this. Okay? This is regarding first law here. But when you go in details about this first law here, first law can be categorized into three types here. What is the meaning of three types here? Let us see. So first law, if you observe, it can be categorized into three types. We shall discuss about each and every type in details here. So first, second and third. Okay. So here I'll give a small example for the first law. Means second law, the first example is, for example, here a body is having initial velocity, body also have final velocity, body is having initial velocity, body also have final velocity. For example, initial velocity is 2 meters per second, final velocity is 6 meters per second, and time taken is 2 seconds. So in 2 seconds the body gains its velocity from 2 to 6. Okay, so 2 to 6 here. That's why. And what is going to happen here? So what is not discussed here? There is no discussion of displacement. There is no discussion of displacement. And I told you that if you are going to consider the equations of motion, there are three types of equations of motion here. Okay? So that is v square minus u square is equal to 2as. So among these three equations of motion, which are very important, there are some specialities in these three types of equations. The first equation, there is no discussion of displacement. The second equation, there is no discussion of final velocity. There is a third equation where there is no discussion of time. Okay? So time. Now what are we going to do here? As there is no discussion of displacement here, no discussion of displacement here, you can just write a is equal to v minus u by t. A is equal to v minus u by t here. So this is the formula in which there is no discussion of displacement. And you all know f is equal to m into a. So f is equal to m into v minus u by t is the first basic formula we have to discuss here. So you can write here f is equal to m into v minus u by t. So this formula is applied when in the case there is no discussion of displacement. Let me give one small example. Find the force applied on a body or a ball of mass 1 kg, which is already having certain velocity. For example, it's a football, let us imagine. Football is having a velocity of 2 meters per second already, and the ball has kicked with certain force here, and because of that application of the force, football has gained its speed from 2 to 6. And the time taken to gain is 2 seconds, then how much force a boy has applied on the football? Then you have to apply this formula here. Okay, so 1 into 6 minus 2 by 2. That's the formula you have to apply. So the first formula is applied when there is no discussion of displacement. Okay, so similarly we shall go for the second formula here. Now in the second case, let us imagine there is zero velocity, and here a boy has applied certain force on a ball, because of which the ball has traveled certain displacement, and it has taken certain time also. Let us take 2 seconds it has taken, and it has been displaced to 10 meters. Okay, so in 2 seconds it has displaced to 10 meters. Then what is the force applied by the boy? That's it. What is not discussed here? Can you tell me? Final velocity is not discussed here. Okay, so final velocity is not discussed here. Therefore, no discussion of capital V here. So suitable formula here is S is equal to ut plus half at square, but it is given that initial velocity is 0. So this part is going to be cancelled. So S will be getting acceleration is equal to S by t square here, and F is equal to m into a. So therefore F is equal to m into 2s by t square is an appropriate formula. 2s by t square is going to be an appropriate formula here. So the second case, there is no discussion of final velocity here. There is no discussion of final velocity. And the suitable formula is this. Okay, so F is equal to m into 2s by t square is a suitable formula we are going to apply here. Understand? So we go for the third case, in which a ball has an initial velocity of 2 meters per second. It has been kicked with certain force. It has gained the final velocity as 6 meters per second. And now it has traveled a displacement of 10 meters. Let us imagine. It has traveled a displacement of 10 meters. Let us imagine. What is not discussed here? Time. Time is not discussed here. No time. No discussion of time. Then the suitable formula is v square minus u square is equal to 2as. This is the formula in which time is not discussed. So a is written as v square minus u square by 2 into s. F is equal to m into a. F is equal to m into v square minus u square by 2 into s. The formula we are applying here is this. Okay? Okay. So then the third step is m into v square minus u square by 2 into s here. Okay? So therefore this is the formula which is no discussion of time. Is it? No discussion of time here. Time is not at all discussed here. So these are three formulas which are based on Newton's second law, which we are going to discuss here. Okay. The next. So what is this concept of lift explaining here? Now let us consider there is the first case in which there is a lift. In this lift there is a weighing machine. Let us imagine we have kept a weighing machine. On this weighing machine, a boy is standing here. Okay, this is a string. This is a string of a lift here. String of a lift which is connected, a wire. Then here, how many forces are acting on this boy now? Can we discuss about the type of forces? The first thing is lift at rest. Lift is at rest. Let us imagine. Lift is at rest now. How many forces are acting on the boy here? mg is acting downwards and normal reaction is acting upwards. You just remember one thing here. If any body is kept on this hand, this body will apply weight downwards exactly towards the center of the earth. If weight is acting on the body, that is the force of gravity is acting on the body, why this body is not going down? Because equally in the opposite direction, the hand is applying certain force, and that is acted upon perpendicularly. Perpendicular means normal. Normal is the synonym of perpendicular. Normal reaction. This is weight is going to be an action, and in the opposite direction it is going to be a reaction. Action and reaction are always equal and opposite. Action is on some other body, reaction will be on the some other body. This pen is applying action on the hand, and hand is applying reaction on the pen. Both are equal and opposite. So therefore, lift is at rest means now this boy is at equilibrium position. Let us consider the mass of the boy is 60 kg. Then what is this weighing machine showing now? The weighing machine shows N is equal to mg. Both are equal and opposite. Boy is at equilibrium. Boy is at equilibrium. He is in such a situation that no resultant force is acting on him. Then N is equal to mg here. N, mass of the boy is 60. G, let us imagine 10. This can be written as normal reaction is 600 newtons, or this can also be written as 6 kg weight. 600 kg is different, 600 kg weight is different. Kg weight, okay, weight means G is included in this. If you want to remove weight and convert it to newtons, multiply with G, that is 10. That means the lift will show the actual weight. How much is the weight of the boy? When the lift is at rest, that lift will show that actual weight of that boy, is it? Then after that, let us go for the second case here, okay? The second case is lift moving up with acceleration A. Now, in the second case, lift is moving up with an acceleration A. Let us imagine this is going to be a lift here, okay? There is a weighing machine on the lift. There is a weighing machine on the lift. A boy is standing on this weighing machine. And how many forces are acting on this boy? Let us imagine here. mg is acting downwards, normal reaction is acting upwards, and this is having acceleration upwards. That means resultant force is also upwards. I will discuss what is the meaning of resultant force here in a shortcut method. For example, this is a block. One boy is applying a force of 6 newtons. One girl is applying a force of 4 newtons in the opposite direction. Then the block will move right side with a resultant force of 6 minus 4, which is equal to 2 newtons. So therefore, a resultant force is always along the dominating side. Resultant force is always along the dominating force. So 6 is dominating, so block will move towards the 6 newtons only, just like tug of war. Understand? Who is stronger? And in that direction the boys will move. Total batch will move. So therefore, this is called as resultant force. Resultant force is going to be the difference between the larger and the smaller forces. So this is a brief idea I am giving about what is the meaning of resultant force. So in this case, what is the resultant force here? See, resultant force is considered to be dominating and this one. Let me tell you one small example. When two forces are acting on the body, then also the body is moving upwards only means what is the meaning? N is dominating mg, that is the meaning, is it? When two forces are acting, then also body is moving upward means one is dominating the other. So therefore N is dominating mg. As N is dominating mg, you can write resultant force as N minus mg. And resultant force is taken as F is equal to M into A according to Newton's second law. Therefore, N can be taken as mg plus ma. Therefore, N is equal to M into G plus A. Therefore, N is equal to 60 into 10 plus. For example, the lift is moving with a speed of 2 meter per second square. With an acceleration of 2 meter per second square upwards, then what happens? Then it is going to be 2. So it is going to be how much? 720 newtons. That means 72 kg weight. So when you are standing and your weight is 60 kg and the lift is moving upward with an acceleration of 2 meters per second square, that means the lift will show more than the actual weight. More than the actual weight. That's why this normal reaction here, it is called as apparent weight. Apparent weight, which is not the real one, which is not the actual weight. Okay, so let us go for case 3 here. Okay, so in this case 3, lift moving down with acceleration A. So when the lift is moving down with an acceleration A, what happens here? So this is a lift here, and here mg is acting upwards, normal reaction is acting. Let us consider it is moving with a speed of acceleration of 2 meters per second square downwards, and a boy present here is standing on the weighing machine. So both the forces are acting on the body, on the man, and lift is moving downwards with an acceleration. When both the forces are acting on a boy, then also lift is moving downwards, means mg is dominating n. mg is dominating n, and resultant force is towards a dominating side. Then you can write resultant force is equal to mg minus n. According to Newton's second law, Fr is equal to ma. Therefore, n is equal to m into g minus a. Okay, n will come left side, a will go to the right side. Therefore, now if you take a practical example which you have taken, 60 into 10 minus 2, because it is moving downward with an acceleration of 2 meter per second square. Therefore, 60 into 8, 480 newtons, and that is going to be 48 kg weight. So your actual weight is going to be 60 kg weight, but this lift is showing only for 48 kg weight. The reason for that is lift is going downwards, and that's why you feel a little bit lighter. You can take an example of giant wheel also. When you sit in a giant wheel, when the wheel is moving upwards, you feel as if you have been pressed on the seat. You have been pressed on the seat. And when the wheel is coming downwards, you feel as if you are floating in air. Sometimes, is it? So the same thing happens here, okay? So the same thing happens here. This is the formula. Here, this is going to be the formula here. Next, case 4 is lift moving up or down with uniform velocity. Lift moving up or down with uniform velocity. What does it mean actually? Here, the same thing happens here also. There is a lift, there is a boy standing, mg is acting downwards, n is acting upwards, but it is moving with a constant velocity upwards, or it is moving with a constant velocity downwards. What is the meaning of uniform velocity? Uniform velocity means v is constant, acceleration is 0. If acceleration is 0, then what happens to n up? N up means m into g plus a. So where a is equal to 0. So n up is nothing but m into g, and n down is taken as m into g minus a. A is equal to 0. So therefore n down can be taken as m into g here also, is it? M into g. Therefore here, if a block or a body is moving with a uniform velocity, that means there is no acceleration. If there is no acceleration, there is no resultant force. Do you follow or not? When your car is going with a uniform velocity, you feel as if you are at rest. You might have listened to bullet trains of China. Even though they are traveling with a speed of 300 kilometers per hour, a person can go to the battery car where tea or coffee is served. He will go and take the coffee and walk to his own place where he is sitting in such a way as if he is moving in a room which is at rest. Because that train will maintain such a constant velocity and the track is so smooth that you can keep a coin vertically. I have seen in YouTube where a person is traveling in a bullet train, he has kept one coin vertically like this, okay? And the coin of 5 rupees is just not at all moving front and back also. Such a smooth accelerate, there is such a smooth uniform velocity is maintained, and track is so smooth, and track is constructed in such a way that there is no turnings, going very straightly. Understand? So that type of technology is used in China. And our trains, can you have a coffee in our train? You can't sit peacefully in toilet also, moving like this. The floor mat. A person who is having constipation will suffer from loose motion in our trains. It will shake you in such a way that totally you will have a free motion. Okay, so that is the specialty of train. So this is about lift moving up and down with a uniform velocity. Let us go for case 5, which is going to be the last case here. Lift's string is cut. Okay, there is a lift in which weighing machine is there. A man is standing. There is a string here. It was observed that the string was cut. Then it becomes freely falling body. Freely falling body. That means, what is acceleration here? Acceleration will become acceleration due to gravity. Okay, so what is the meaning of this example which I have given previously? Either it is n up, it is showing 60 kg weight only. Either it is n down, it is also showing 60 kg weight only. If the lift is at rest or moving with uniform velocity, it is going to show an actual weight only. Understand? So when a velocity of a train or a body is constant, you will not feel a jerk on your body also. Understand? That means you feel as if you are at rest. Understood? So this is the meaning of uniform velocity. Okay. So now let us see what happens when the lift's string is cut. So here it is cut means it is coming downwards now. Therefore resultant force is going to become, what is this? mg is acting downwards, n is acting upwards. So you have to write mg minus n now. Because freely falling body it is coming downwards means mg should dominate normal reaction here. So what is going to happen here? So m into a is equal to, what is this? mg minus n. N is equal to mg minus ma. N is equal to m into g minus a. But a is equal to g here. Therefore n is equal to m into g minus g, which is equal to 0. N equal to 0 kg weight. The weighing machine is showing 0 weight. That means weightlessness is imagined. So what is the meaning of this concept? This is called as weightlessness. Okay, this is the concept. What is the meaning of weightlessness? Means when you are standing in a lift is cut, you will become a freely falling body. Along with the lift is also freely falling body, and the net force applied by your feet on the weighing machine is going to be 0. Got the point now? So this is okay. So this is an Atwood's machine here. Two blocks are there. One is dominating the other one. Okay. So this is having larger mass. That's why this is coming down with an acceleration a. This is moving up with an acceleration a. Acceleration of both the blocks are going to be same here. So free body diagram means taking one body separately and discussing how many forces are acting on that. And if you observe this block here, mg1g is acting down. Weight is always acting downwards, and tension is acting upwards. According to the situation of m1 here, it is having acceleration upward because it is lighter. Then acceleration is directly proportional to force. That means acceleration and resultant force are acting in the same direction. Therefore, resultant force is dominating force minus less dominating force, less force. So both the forces are acting. Then also body is moving upward means T is dominating weight. So T minus m1g. So m1a is equal to T minus m1g. This is the first equation. Take the second body of mass m2. How many forces are acting on that? Tension upwards, weight acting downwards. But if you observe, acceleration is downwards means resultant force also downwards, because acceleration is directly proportional to force and takes place along the direction of the force. Then the resultant force will become dominating minus less dominating. Who is dominating here? M2g is dominating. So M2G minus tension T. Here T is dominating, upward it is moving. So T minus this one. So if you take these two equations and add them, tension is getting cancelled here. So acceleration, how much you are getting? If you add right hand side here, tensions are getting cancelled. So M2 minus M1 by M1 plus M2 into G. This is going to be an acceleration. Then what you have to do? You just substitute A in 1 or 2. You can substitute wherever you want. The same answer it is going to give. So let us take here now, take M1 into A. I am substituting in 1, let us imagine I am substituting in 1. So M1 into A, what is M2 minus M1 by M1 plus M2 into G is equal to T minus M1 into G. So what I am going to do here is T I will take to left side and this M1G I will transfer to the other side. So M1 M2 into G minus M1 square G, okay, divided by M1 plus M2 plus M1 into G. This is I am transferring to this side. So tension T is equal to M1 M2 G M1 square G, and this to be multiplied here because LCM is 1 here. Therefore M1 square G plus M1 M2 into G. Okay, so what is going to happen in this case here? Okay, this is M2 into G. What is going to be cancelled here? This is going to be cancelled here, and the total LCM is M1 plus M2. Therefore M1 Mg, M1 M2G, M1 M2G here 2 M1 M2 divided by M1 plus M2 into G. This is going to be the tension. This is going to be the tension. If you want, you can solve the problem now. Let us take M2 is equal to 8 kg, M1 is equal to 4 kg. That's it given. If it is given, that is enough. If this much is given, it is enough. Find the acceleration of the system, he'll say. System. This is called as a system because it is having 3 bodies in that. 1 pulley, 2 blocks combined together is called as a system. So Atwood's machine is a simple system. Got the point now? So, okay. Now, this is system 2. Atwood's machine which I have discussed previously, system 1 here. This is system 2. Now, let us see what is going to happen here. As this block is moving downward with an acceleration A, this is also moving right side with an acceleration A. Tension is acting in this direction here. Tension is acting in this direction. So let us see what is going to happen here. Okay. So now you all know that we have to consider a free body diagram. So free body diagram of mass M1. So if you observe the mass M1 here separately and discuss how many forces are acting on this block here. As the same story which was being repeated in Atwood's machine. See, M1G is acting downwards, tension T is acting upwards. This is moving downwards. That means direction of force and acceleration will be same. And you all know that resultant force is going to be, when both the forces are acting on a body, then also body is moving downwards means one is dominating the other. Downward is dominating. So you can write it this as M1G minus tension T here. So this is can written as M1 into A is equal to M1G minus tension T. This is going to be equation number 1 here. Okay. So we shall go for the next diagram, next free body diagram. So if you go for free body diagram of mass M2, this block, if you observe how many forces are acting here on this block, it is clear that M2G is acting downwards, normal reaction is acting upwards. But these two forces are not going to move the body upwards and downwards, is it? The block is moving upwards or downwards? No. So these two forces are getting cancelled here. Then the resultant force acting is only tension is acting right side. Now here, so the block is moving right side with an acceleration A. So tension is going to become M2 into A. This is equation number 2 here. Okay. So what are you going to do now? Just do one thing. Substituting 2 in 1. If you substitute 2 in 1, you'll be getting how much? Okay, you'll be getting here M1 into A is equal to M1 into G minus tension T. Okay, so here if you observe M1 into A, in the place of tension T, can you substitute this one? M2 into A. So this comes to left side. What happens here now? m1 plus m2 into a is equal to m1 into g. So acceleration is equal to m1 by m1 plus m2 into g here. This is going to be an acceleration of the system in this case. This is a different system. Then substituting a in 2. It's easier to substitute in 2 to get the tension. You can substitute in 1 also because this equation is very complex. Calculations becomes complex, but result will be same. So why to go risk? Let us go for this first equation. Then here tension T is going to become A means M1. So M1 M2 by M1 plus M2 into G. In Atwood's machine, there it was 2 M1 M2 by M1 plus M2 into G. But here this is the formula here. You can solve this problem by taking M1 is equal to 6 kg and M2 is equal to 3 kg. You can solve this problem. It's very easy. Only masses are given, that is enough. You can solve the problem. Okay. So in this system 3, if you observe, this is an inclined plane. This is coming downwards, this is moving right side. So this is the system here in which this block is moving down, that is moving right side. So you can just take a free body diagram in this case. So if you take M2, what is acting downwards? M2G. What is acting upwards? Tension T. Then what is an acceleration here? Downwards. Resultant force also downwards. So resultant force can be taken as M2G minus tension T. Is it? M2G minus tension T. This is M2 into A is equal to M2 into G minus tension T. This is equation number 1. So let us go for the free body diagram of the second block here. It is in the inclined plane like this. So if I keep a block here, how many forces are acting on this block? Let us see. So it is clear that in this direction tension is acting. In this direction mg sin theta is acting here. Okay, and that is m1g sin theta. Then the block is moving in this direction. Might be this block is a little bit heavier. So it is coming down. That is going along the slant height upwards. So then resultant force also in the same direction here. So the body's resultant equation is Fr is equal to T minus m1g into sin theta. Okay. So what is going to happen here? This is m1 into A is equal to T minus m1g sin theta. This is 2. Okay. So what are you going to do here? You just add 1 plus 2. What are you going to get? M1 plus M2 into A. Okay. So tensions gets cancelled here. Is it? Tensions gets cancelled here. Then what happens? M2G minus M1G into sin theta. So acceleration is equal to M2 minus M1 into sin theta into G whole divided by M1 plus M2. Okay. So you're getting acceleration like this. Okay. So substituting A in T. Okay. Substituting A in T. That means in the place of in equation 1 or 2. Wherever you want you can substitute. Better you substitute in 1 because there is no trigonometric function in equation number 1. Then you can simplify and tell me the answer tomorrow how much you are going to get. Okay. So this is 1. Now here. So the block is moving right side with an acceleration A. So tension is going to become M2 into A. This is equation number 2 here. Okay. So what are you going to do now? Just do one thing. Substituting 2 in 1. If you substitute 2 in 1, you'll be getting how much? Okay, you'll be getting here M1 into A is equal to M1 into G minus tension T. Okay, so here if you observe M1 into A, in the place of tension T, can you substitute this one? M2 into A. So this comes to left side. What happens here now? M1 plus M2 into A is equal to M1 into G. So acceleration is equal to M1 by M1 plus M2 into G here. This is going to be an acceleration of the system in this case. This is a different system. Then substituting A in 2. It's easier to substitute in 2 to get the tension. You can substitute in 1 also because this equation is very complex. Calculations becomes complex, but result will be same. So why to go risk? Let us go for this first equation. Then here tension T is going to become A means M1. So M1 M2 by M1 plus M2 into G. In Atwood's machine, there it was 2 M1 M2 by M1 plus M2 into G. But here this is the formula here. You can solve this problem by taking M1 is equal to 6 kg and M2 is equal to 3 kg. You can solve this problem. It's very easy. Only masses are given, that is enough. You can solve the problem. Okay. So in this system 3, if you observe, this is an inclined plane. This is coming downwards, this is moving right side. So this is the system here in which this block is moving down, that is moving right side. So you can just take a free body diagram in this case. So if you take M2, what is acting downwards? M2G. What is acting upwards? Tension T. Then what is an acceleration here? Downwards. Resultant force also downwards. So resultant force can be taken as M2G minus tension T. Is it? M2G minus tension T. This is M2 into A is equal to M2 into G minus tension T. This is equation number 1. So let us go for the free body diagram of the second block here. It is in the inclined plane like this. So if I keep a block here, how many forces are acting on this block? Let us see. So it is clear that in this direction tension is acting. In this direction mg sin theta is acting here. Okay, and that is m1g sin theta. Then the block is moving in this direction. Might be this block is a little bit heavier. So it is coming down. That is going along the slant height upwards. So then resultant force also in the same direction here. So the body's resultant equation is Fr is equal to T minus m1g into sin theta. Okay. So what is going to happen here? This is m1 into A is equal to T minus m1g sin theta. This is 2. Okay. So what are you going to do here? You just add 1 plus 2. What are you going to get? m1 plus m2 into A. Okay. So tensions gets cancelled here. Is it? Tensions gets cancelled here. Then what happens? m2g minus m1g into sin theta. So acceleration is equal to m2 minus m1 into sin theta into g whole divided by m1 plus m2. Okay. So getting acceleration like this. Okay. So substituting A in T. Okay. Substituting A in T. That means in the place of in equation 1 or 2. Wherever you want you can substitute. Better you substitute in 1 because there is no trigonometric function in equation number 1. Then you can simplify and tell me the answer tomorrow how much you are going to get. Okay. So this is 1. So when you are going to consider this system here, you all know the free body diagram. I will draw the free diagram, body diagram at this place only. So this is m1g sin theta 1. So resultant force also in the same direction. You just write here resultant force is equal to m1g sin theta minus tension T. This is m1 into A, m1 into G sin theta minus tension T. Let us imagine this is going to be in equation number 1. Let us go for this equation now. This body, this free body. Here acceleration in the same direction, resultant force also in the same direction. In this direction m2g sin theta 1 is acting. Okay. So here sin theta 2 is acting. Okay. So otherwise you do one thing. This is m1 no, take it as theta 1. This is m2 no, take it as theta 2. So it will be easy for us now. Okay. So now here in this case, here the body is going right side. Okay. I think you have done correct only. This is dominating here as it is going right side. This is dominating here. So that's why you write this minus tension here. But in this case, tension is dominating. So we will write resultant force as T minus m2g sin theta 1. Here m2a is equal to T minus m2g sin theta 1. Okay. So this is equation number 2. Add 1 and 2. Add 1 and 2 will be getting m1 plus m2 into A. What is left now? m1 sin theta 1 minus m2 sin theta 2 into G by Okay, this much you'll be getting now. So the next step is A is equal to m1 sine theta 1 minus m2 sine theta 2 into g divided by m1 plus m2. So this is an acceleration you're getting. Okay, see, clear? You just see here, I am taking this as 60 degrees and this as 30 degrees. I'll take m1 as 4 kg and let us imagine m2 as 2 kg. You can solve the problem, that's it. You can solve the problem now. Okay, angles are given to you, masses are given, that is enough. G is taken as 10. And no need to substitute this in tension again, find out tension. It's very simple. Find out acceleration, directly substitute in 1 or 2, they'll get the tension. In terms of numericals, you can just substitute here and get the answer. Why again substitute here and simplify and get the tension? No tension at all. Okay, this is one thing. Now if you observe here, what is going to happen here? This is coming down with an acceleration, this is moving up with an acceleration. Resultant force is downwards here. Here resultant force is upwards here. And here resultant force is towards right. And this is tension T1, this is tension T2, is it? So take this free body diagram of mass m3. So what are you going to do now here? You will write here resultant force is equal to T1 minus T2. This is m3a is equal to T1 minus T2, is it? Okay, so I will write here Fr is equal to T1 minus T2 because going right side, this is dominating than this. So this can be written as m3a is equal to T1 minus T2. Let this be equation number 1. Okay, so go for this equation body of this body if you take here. This is coming downwards. So resultant force is equal to, this is m1g and this is m2g. Directly I am taking as a free body diagram. So resultant force can be written as m1g minus tension T1. This is m1 into a. m1g minus tension T1. This is equation number 1. Let us take this one. Resultant force is equal to T2 minus m2g. m2a is equal to T2 minus m2g. Okay, this is 3. Understand? Okay, so what can you do now here? See, 1 plus 2 plus 3. If you do m1 plus m2 plus m3 into a, is it? Is equal to S. What are you going to get now? Tell me now. You will be getting here m1 minus m3 into g, that's it. Tensions are cancelled. Understood? This is the equation you're getting now. Okay? So what is an acceleration here? Acceleration is equal to m1 minus m3 by m1 plus m2 plus m3 into g. That's it. This is an acceleration here. Once you get an acceleration, now I'll write the formula. I'll write the values here. m1 is 4 kg. m3 you just imagine. Okay, this time we're taking a little bit more. 8 kg. m3 you take it as 6 kg. m2 you take it as 4 kg. That's it. That's enough. That's enough to find out the solution. Masses are enough here because angles are not present in this case. Okay?
10 by 9.
Here, this is m1, sorry. m1 minus m2 lena. m1 minus m2. This is not taken here. This is not at all present in the scene, is it?
Sir, m3, m1 plus m3 sir.
m1?
नीचे सर नीचे.
Hmm?
m3 के कहा था सर?
Z no.
देखिए वजन जो
Z. So, m1 minus m2.